If you want your knees to feel better and you have knee arthritis, there's something you need to know. The conventional approach to knee arthritis pain is strengthening your leg muscles. But in this video, I'll share why muscle strengthening won't fix your knee arthritis, the real reason you have knee pain, and 6 ways to relieve knee arthritis pain. So many medical and fitness professionals will recommend strengthening the front of your thighs. The muscles on the front of your thighs are the quadriceps muscles, the ones that straighten your knees. And that's because there's a lot of research that shows that people without knee pain typically have stronger quadriceps muscles, and people with knee pain typically have weaker quadriceps muscles. The other recommendation that's often given by medical and fitness professionals is strengthening your glutes or your hip muscles to take pressure off of your knees. But why are your knees actually hurting? What's the source of your knee pain? The source of your knee pain is actually really important. And here's why. Let's talk about another example just for a moment. What if you are having chest pain? If you are having chest pain, you would want to know if the chest pain was because of a case of heartburn or a case of having a heart attack. And depending on what the problem is, will depend on what you do for the solution. Now, knee pain is not potentially fatal, but knowing the source of your knee pain will help you address it appropriately. If you have knee arthritis, arthritis literally means joint inflammation. So in the case of knee arthritis, the lining of your joint, the lining of the inside of your knee is inflamed, it's irritated. So around your knee, you have this capsule, and that capsule has a lining, and that lining has a lot of nerves in it. So those nerves will send messages to the brain when there's any irritation inside your knee, when your knee is receiving too much force, more force than it can withstand from whatever positions and activities that you may be doing. People with knee arthritis have knee pain not because they have weak muscles, but because they have weak knees. If your knees have been sore, achy, stiff, swollen, or painful, then your knees aren't strong enough. And this requires a totally different approach, a totally different type of exercise. Strengthening a muscle requires exercise with a lot of effort, repeated several times. But strengthening inside your knees requires low effort exercise, repeated for several minutes. So let's talk about several ways that you can start strengthening your knees. But before I do so, if you've already found this video helpful and you'd like others to find it as well, please like it and subscribe to this channel. Okay, let's talk about several ways to both soothe and strengthen your knees. If you have a rocking chair, you can sit in the rocking chair, and by resting your feet on the floor as you rock back and forth in the chair, your knees will very subtly bend and straighten. And that's enough motion to massage inside your knees and begin to strengthen. But let's say you don't have a rocking chair. Well, right now I'm sitting on the edge of a massage table, and you could sit on the edge of a heavy dining room table, a sturdy desk, a picnic table, even the back of a pickup truck if the tailgate is let down. And as you sit here, you allow your legs to dangle and then gently swing your lower legs back and forth, allowing the movement to soothe and start to strengthen deep inside your knees. Another way to get low effort movement for your knees is by cycling, very easy cycling. So that might be at the gym with an exercise bike in which there's very little resistance, or it might be outside on a bike where the surface is relatively flat, so you're not using a lot of muscles to propel your bike. You could also sit in a standard chair, one that doesn't have wheels, typical height, and use a furniture slider, a furniture mover. This is a felted bottom one, so it works well on a wood floor like this. They also come with a plastic bottom for carpet, and I just have a green piece of felt on here so you can see it easily. So with the furniture mover on the floor, you'll place your foot on top of the furniture mover and gently slide your foot in and out. Again, in a motion that's very gentle. You're not trying to move quickly. Think about the same cadence that you would use a rocking chair, and within an amount of movement that feels good or neutral to your knee. Another option, depending on the time of the year, whether you have access to a pool that's inside or outside and the weather and all those things, you can walk in a pool. And I typically suggest people start in water that's roughly chest deep. Sometimes they only have access to maybe waist deep, or it's all the way up to their shoulders. The idea is to have the buoyancy of the water absorb the shock of your foot hitting the surface, the bottom of the pool in this case, with every step that you're taking, and that cushions the impact and gently soothes and strengthens. If you have a physio ball, this one is about 55 centimeters in diameter. It can also be used as a tool to give your knees that gentle strengthening motion. So you can put the physio ball on the floor, on some firm beds or couches. I'm going to use it here on my massage table. And I'm going to rest my heels on the ball and then gently straighten and bend my knees. Again, in a motion that's very, very gentle speed-wise, but also, you don't have to get as bent as your knees can possibly go. If that's uncomfortable, avoid that portion of the range and place your heels on a part of the ball. If it bothers you to straighten your knees all the way, you don't go all the way to straightening either. You just kind of stay in a mid-range that's very comfortable to your knees. All of these exercises move your knees in ways with low effort and low amounts of force. They are not intended to strengthen your muscles. They're intended to improve inside your knees. So here's what I recommend. Choose one or more of those movements that feel good to your knees and perform that movement for at least 3 minutes consecutively. Again, it needs to feel good, or it needs to feel neutral to your knees while you're doing it and immediately upon finishing. And then perform that 3 to 5 times during your day. So find times that you can kind of weave it into your already typical schedule. So maybe it's first thing in the morning when you get up, or right before you go to bed at night, before or after a meal, right when you get home from work or from a particular appointment. All of those are good ways to kind of get it into your schedule that eventually becomes effortless. Now I have one more clarification for you. The movements that I've shown you within this video will all help soothe and improve your knees, but they're only one part of the Better Knees method. Before you'll be able to return to all of your favorite activities without your knee pain returning, you'll likely need some additional exercises. These are going to be exercises that gradually apply more and more force inside your knees. These exercises will gradually strengthen your knees, so you'll be ready for everything that you enjoy doing. So now that you've learned some ways to gently move your knees, you're ready to make your knees feel even better by watching my next video, The Ultimate Guide to Quad Sets.